This here is a tom turkey because if you draw a line through here, it's shorter than halfway up. And there's the songbird next to it.
Huh.
And then the hen turkey, let's see, where was the hen? These are all gobblers and they're kind of small, so it's probably a jake. I thought we had a hen track here somewhere, but these all look like a jake. The dark feather with the dark tip, that's from a gobbler, versus a hen, it would be brown. This is a breast feather. So, and it was up high, it's probably fairly fresh.
We're here in northern Wisconsin, specifically Mercer, Wisconsin. As hosts of the community here, we're with the GLOW Association of Great Lakes Outdoor Riders Cast and Blast event. Personally, I'm being taken turkey hunting here by Bruce Bacon. He's a retired wildlife biologist in the area, knows the area very well, been sharing a wealth of information and knowledge and also some history of the area, which is quite interesting. And there's a heck of a lot more to do here than just a turkey hunting aspect. If you'd expound on that, that would certainly enlighten.
Sure, the turkeys are new. We've had a season only for 5 years this far north in Wisconsin, so it's a new opportunity, exciting, but we're better known for bear hunting and bobcat hunting and long tradition of deer hunting. The population fluctuates based on our winters, so we've gone through some really good years with a lot of deer, and then we'll dip down to not so many deer.
Right, that's anywhere.
Yeah, that's anywhere. It's more pronounced up here, you know, because we don't have any agriculture to help the wildlife through the years. So that impacts the turkey population too. And but there's a ton of fishing to do, obviously. But hunting, it's big country, big woods, and a lot of people, like the dog hunters, like to chase bear up here and bobcat,
really?
and they'll chase coyotes after the bear and bobcat season's closed.
That's
They keep chasing coyotes. So we've got a good population. We saw bear scat just down the trail.
Just coming up the trail.
And you know, there's coyote tracks. We have wolves, and we did have 2 successful wolf seasons. And that'll come back once the lawsuits are all settled.
Right, yeah, matter of
federal
fact.
lawsuits, you know.
Yeah, driving into town 2 nights ago, I saw one along the road.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of wildlife here. Of course, there's lots of birds. The grouse population is real good if you hunt grouse habitat. Of course, the wooded swamps aren't full of grouse, but find a nice upland sites and that, and young forests like we got just down the trail here. The grouse seem to be doing really good, and the rough grouse is what we have here. We have spruce grouse too, but they're not hunted up here.
Okay, that I wasn't aware of.
We don't have very many, so we don't hunt spruce grouse here. And of course we got the turkeys. There is waterfowl hunting where we have water. We'll be going to the Little Turtle Wildlife Area in a little bit, and that's a typical waterfowl area where you can hunt ducks and that. We actually have a good population of breeding geese. We brought them from nuisance areas where they were causing trouble. We brought geese from Green Bay up here, put them on the beaver ponds, and they did really well.
So that's what we're hearing squawking all morning.
Yeah, this morning at our previous site, there was geese squawking all morning. And yeah, those are birds we brought out of Green Bay that were causing trouble in Titletown. And up here, there's more space for them to spread out and stuff, and they do pretty good.
Now, as it pertains to the wild turkey population here, Bruce, give us kind of a rundown of the history of how it started, how it's evolved, what your thoughts are on the future.
Okay. We actually have a long history of turkeys in the state of Wisconsin, but the original ones were in central Wisconsin, and they came from game farm stock birds around Nesita National Wildlife Refuge, and they didn't do well, and then blackhead came through, and it's a disease that's real deadly on turkeys. So we had seasons in the 50s, and then they had to shut them down, and the game farm stocking just hasn't worked, regardless of species. So we started in the 70s trading Missouri 3 rough grouse from Wisconsin for 1 turkey. And they were eastern turkeys. That's the subspecies that's native to Wisconsin. So we have eastern turkeys here. And our turkeys did real good. I'm not sure that our grouse did so good for Missouri, but and it's habitat, all based on habitat. And so our turkeys did really well. And in 1985, we had our first modern season in southern Wisconsin. In 2006, we brought turkeys to Iron County, and they came from near the airport in central Wisconsin where they were a nuisance because they're next to an airport. So we trapped nuisance birds, but they were wild.
Right.
You know, real wild eastern birds. Brought them up here, and brought 53 birds. And then they spread across the county quite well. And in 2011, we had our first season up here.
Okay, so being wild birds, they brought their survival instincts with them versus the pen-raised types that
Right.
didn't do so well.
Yeah, the pen-raised birds just weren't hardy enough.
Sure, yep,
you know?
yep, that
So,
makes sense.
and that's pretty true with most species.
Right.
You know? So the wild turkey been a super success in Wisconsin. It's been an added bonus to northern Wisconsin, something that I grew up 60 miles east of here, and the only thing I knew about turkeys is what I read in Outdoor Life and Field and Stream,
that's
and they
me
were
personally
foreign.
here.
Yeah,
That's
they
why
were
we're
foreign
asking
to
you
us,
for.
you know.
Yep.
And now they're here, and all the kids know about them and stuff, and get an opportunity to hunt. We do have a youth hunt. That's the weekend before the regular season, so the kids are out. We give them an opportunity to hunt turkeys before they're pressured. And talking about pressured turkeys, they're pressured by the time you get to the 6th season, like we are right here. So these birds are pretty wary now. They've been chased for 5 weeks.
Right, you can tell we're later in the season here. We're swatting bugs away, and
Yep, and it's warm. It started out this morning with frost, and now it's going to be in the 70s
Yep.
and sunny. So, but we do have open stretches like these utility right-of-ways, and that's really good turkey habitat. And this is kind of why we're here, and this is where the turkeys are. The hens will bring their broods out here because this is where the insects are.
sure.
And young birds, pretty much regardless of species, the rough grouse too, they come out here and they look for insects in the grass, and the sun is why they're here. And so this is good brood habitat, good place for the gobblers to display, and the hens can see them. They're not going to display in a real dense wood where they can't be seen. They want to be out here. And so that's why, you know, we target these kind of areas for hunting, and it is good habitat. And this right-of-way runs the whole length north and south of Iron County.
Okay.
So without this, probably the turkeys won't do as well. We just don't have much agriculture. I think there's 6 farms left in Iron County, up north near Saxon Harbor. And so we just don't have much egg here.
I believe we saw one on the way to the St. Croix factory yesterday.
Okay.
I did make note of that.
Yeah, there are some farms, but not many. And the turkeys have shown us where they can live. Much, as a wildlife biologist, I would have said we're never going to have turkeys successfully in Iron County, and they're successful here.
Are you seeing some excitement from the hunters, from the sportsmen in that, getting them behind the efforts to,
Sure.
to keep this going, to make sure that it continues to be successful?
We have a local National Wild Turkey Federation chapter up here.
Okay.
And they spend, I think, about half of their money locally, and they do some educational stuff with the kids. They'll provide seed for food plots for turkeys and other wildlife. Of course, you do anything for turkeys, you're going to benefit other wildlife.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we've got an actual local chapter of the Turkey Federation. They're very
Perfect.
enthusiastic and very supportive, and I believe they contributed money to us bringing the birds north.
And that's with anything, whether it's elk or, you know, in my neck of the woods in South Dakota with the pheasants, to get the sportsmen behind things, it's the best for wildlife, it's best for the community. You mentioned the youth thing, bringing the kids up, getting them excited. We've got them bringing it on for future generations, and it's good for everybody. It's good for tourism. That's exactly why we're here as hosts of Mercer. You know, it brings folks to the area.
I can honestly say I've never heard a negative word about a turkey, other than the motorcyclists. They don't want to hit one on their bikes.
I would imagine that works well.
Yeah, but other than that, I've never heard a negative about turkeys.
Perfect. You know, you provide us a wealth of information here, and just another interesting aspect of the area. And being it's warming up so much, you know, personally, I'd like to play tourists and take a good look at what the whole area has to offer, in particular some of the fishing opportunities and so forth.
Yeah, and we'll go to the Little Turtle Wildlife Area. It is 1,200-acre wildlife area. It's the best birding spot in the county, and it was the citizens from Mercer that actually went to the governor's office in 1960 and got it made.
Okay.
So we'll look at it, and it's pretty neat. And it was funded by the state, built by the state, but it was only developed because of local desire to have it, support.
You know, and there's just another angle to the whole thing. You know, you don't need to have a gun to come up and enjoy this stuff. A camera, you know, a set of binoculars will suit you just as well.
Yep. So, and we actually do have because we're remote, we have a fair number of the lesser and like the endangered and threatened species which have recovered. We had the highest density of nesting osprey, eagles, and loons in the state.
Okay.
Because of the turtle flammable foliage, little turtle, and some of our lakes. Now, of course, the eagles have recovered, the ospreys have recovered, Loons are doing quite well, and so we've got now other species like merlins, which are somewhat rare. They're doing good here. So we've got plenty of habitat for the wilderness or more remote species, and they're doing quite well. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff here, and turkeys on top now.
Sure.
So
Well, thanks, Bruce.
Yeah.
I tell you, folks, if you're looking for an out-of-the-way spot that's probably not as heavily advertised or heard of, up here in Mercer, Wisconsin, northern part of the state is definitely a destination to consider. Bruce, you'd mentioned there's not a lot of agriculture in the area, so what exactly are these turkeys feeding on?
sure. Anything that's green right now, young in the spring, any of the forbs. They prefer the forbs to the grass. They digest a lot better.
Okay.
So this looks like it might be a little young dandelion. And here is clover, which most birds like grouse, oops, here we go. They love clover. You know, whether it's deer, grouse, bear even eat this in the spring and stuff, but the turkeys, they love green stuff like this. And so anytime it's green, it's good. We have plenty of summer habitat. They'll be eating all these little forbs like this. And then of course they like the bugs. So they'll be going through here, and then when they have the chicks rely on that the bugs. They have a higher protein content. So they grow faster. It's just like if you're raising chickens, you know, your chick starter has more protein than the laying mash for the adult birds. So they're looking for the protein, and it becomes bugs as soon as they come out. Now right now we're being pestered by flying bugs, but you don't see the grasshoppers and stuff yet. And they'll come out about the time that the chicks start hatching, and that's kind of a good thing. You know,
That's going to be my next question. Is there a preference for insects, or just basically anything that gets in front of them they can get a hold of?
Anything they can on the ground. You know, I mean, they'll take a caterpillar, crickets, grasshoppers. I think grasshoppers are real important because there are more of them, and that's why they like this grassy stuff, because the sun is where the insects are.
Sure.
So they'll eat anything like that, anything green right now. And like I say, they'll eat grass, but it's not ideal. And these forbs, they'll peck at these and eat these. Any seeds that are left over from last year, there aren't many. But in the fall and winter, then they're relying on the seeds that are left over. And we have also found that our turkeys will bud up in the top of the trees. If you look at the trees now, the leaves are popping, but in the winter, it's the dormant buds that they'll be eating.
And they'll pick on those?
Yes.
Okay.
Out on the branches, you'll see a turkey on a pretty small branch reaching for a bud.
Just pluck it away, huh?
Yeah.
And
our snow, you know, if we got 3 feet of snow here, this stuff here is not available.
Right.
So that's why they're going to go up into the trees.
They've got the ability to adapt into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we, we do have some acorn, but not a lot. Not many oak.
Okay.
And again, that would not be available in the winter anyways, because we have knee-deep snow up here.
Yep.
You know.
How far are you guys from Lake Superior?
Here we're about 20 miles as the crow
Okay,
flies.
so you get lake effect snow and get dumped
we
on
definitely
fairly
get lake
heavily
effect
then.
snow here.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we get plenty of snow. We're called the snow belt for a reason.
Well, we're talking about recreational activities, and one we never even touched on there brings up another one is obviously the snowmobile stuff, and then I would imagine in the summer the ATV things. We saw some trails for that.
Yeah, and they're the trails that are suitable, because snowmobile trails you can put almost anywhere because it's frozen in the winter.
Right.
But the ATVs need a little bit drier soil and stuff, and they don't do well in wetlands. They do too much damage. So.
Right.
So we don't have as many ATV as snowmobile trails, but there are quite a few. And then most of the towns have opened up, the townships have opened up their smaller roads for ATVs too.
Okay.
So I think they actually say in Iron County we have 900 miles of ATV trails.
Oh, the heck.
In the county.
Well, it's
all
just
the roads and stuff, that are
yeah,
open.
that's just kind of a testament to the hospitality of the area. We've been here a couple days, and my God, you don't see a person that isn't just, hey, how you doing? What can we do for you? That type of thing.
You bet. So yeah, logging, we talked about it, logging, and that creates the woods, keeps the woods young. That's our #1 industry, but tourism is #2.
Yep.
So it's real important.
Okay, and it's just rural nature of the area. It's just friendly.
That's why I live here.
Exactly, perfect.
I spent 9 months in the city of Milwaukee when I was an intern, because that's what I had to do to get a job.
Spent 9 months more than I would, but yeah, it got you back here, didn't it?
I like it up here, born and raised in northern Wisconsin.
Perfect.